Hey YouTubers, welcome back to Desert Have a Garden. Today I am in my low desert garden and I wanted to do just a little change of pace today. I kind of just wanted to chat with you and talk about some of my thoughts and ideas and feelings about all of this shutdown that we're kind of going through right now. And I don't know. I started this channel to be helpful to other people. Local people asked me how to garden in this difficult climate. That progressed to people asking me how to make bread. So I try to make things that are simple and easy for people. And I really appreciate the positive feedback on that. And some of you are aware that I made a funny video 2 days ago. And a lot of that was actually my oldest son's idea. He is turning 13 next week and he has a great sense of humor. And I was talking about all the people who had bought flour but keep posting on Facebook saying, what do I do with this? How do I make anything with it? So together he and I came up with the idea, and that video actually was shared by Pastor Joe Fox from Viking Preparedness. Some of you came here because of him and our new subscribers. Welcome. Others have no idea who he is, but you're welcome to check him out on YouTube. And if you like what he has to say, he does have a Patreon channel. And on the Patreon channel, he publishes way more content. And my husband and I, well, you know, we only have one account, but we are Patreon subscribers. So we enjoy a lot of his content. So thanks, Pastor Joe, for that. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this slowdown. So my role in our family has long been that I'm the stay-at-home mom with my 3 kids. We homeschool, so we have a 7th grader, a 4th grader, and a kindergartner. And we have really enjoyed our journey. And so staying home per se is nothing new to us. This isn't unusual. However, we have usually a very, very busy schedule. So we have all kinds of activities that the kids participate in. So we've got ballet 4 days a week. We have taekwondo 2 days a week, art class once a week, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. I'm sure I'm forgetting something else, but we have lots and lots of stuff that usually has us on a schedule that is go, go, go. So we're not typically home very often. I also do the payroll for my husband's business, so that takes us out into town 1 day a week. I do the books and things like that, the accounting for his business. And I have a couple of side hustles. So I typically bake bread semi-professionally. There's one restaurant that I was baking bread for. However, unfortunately, last week they had to close because they weren't getting enough customers, and I really, really hope that they're going to be able to open back up when this all passes, because they had an awesome concept and they were really into buying local, supporting local, and good healthy food options for people. So I hope that they're able to reopen. So they haven't ordered from me in 2 weeks. And I also bake a ton of bread and make sugar-free jams and provide some produce for the farmers market, which happens once a month. And that currently is going to stay functioning for right now. It's covered under the essential businesses. And so the last farmers market was a week ago. And hopefully we can do it more frequently while there continues to be a shortage. So those side hustles. I also have a business that I started about 1.5 years ago called Wild Lou, and our keystone product is a powdered golden milk drink mix. And so I have that on the side as well. So this just is all background that we are busy people, but we're not busy right now. We have no activities going on, nothing that's drawing us away from the house. And we as humans are made to have purpose and to have direction. So we continue to homeschool, and that's nothing unfamiliar to us. I know a lot of parents are floundering with that. At least that's a path that we've already paved. And so we're continuing to do our lessons. We're comfortable being together, the kids and I, so we don't have this new friction because we're unaccustomed to being together. But I have found myself, I'm typically a worrywart, believe it or not. I have found myself falling into these anxious moments and getting overwhelmed by thinking about everything that's going on. And then I want to keep checking for updates and see what's going on and what's closing down next and which governor is doing what. I am working really hard to not do that. We need to have purpose, and in this time, we especially need to have purpose. And I am someone who really likes to craft. I sew, I crochet, I do all kinds of different artistic type of things. But right now, those things are not making me passionate, and I'm not feeling driven to do those things. I usually need to be in a calm mood to find peace in those things. I have had to redirect myself to tasks that are more purposeful in the current times. And what I find that to be is I've made an inventory of all the food and supplies, everything we have. Excuse me. I'm making an inventory so that I know what we have without having to go search for it. And in addition to that inventory, I've been marking down any deficiencies I feel like we have in this time where I'm not going to the grocery store at all. I'm not running out. Amazon's unavailable. So we typically go to the grocery store a couple times a week to pick up a couple things here and there. Well, we're not doing that. So I now know what I have because I've made an inventory, and I am throughout the day I keep adding wherever I may have a deficiency or where I didn't feel like I had enough of something. Because when this passes, and I really believe it's going to pass, I feel like this was kind of like a dry run per se. And when it passes, I want to make sure that I fill in those deficiencies. And so having this on the forefront of my mind, it's an action, it's something I can do. And it might not seem like much to do, but it is something I can do, and it's something that I can occupy my mind with and feel that I'm taking action. Another thing is the garden. So it's our spring already here. It's a beautiful sunny day, and in our spring we kind of go back and forth. We'll have some days that are in the 60s, we'll have others that are in the high 80s. This is totally typical for this time of year, but I'm transitioning from our winter garden to our spring garden. So I have lots of little plant starts that I have, and I've been trading them out. So this garden is getting tons of attention from me because it's something I can do, and I've always known that it would be impossible, or at least a crazy struggle, to try and provide our family with all the produce we need out of our garden here, just because it's a low producing area and we do live in the city, and we don't have a ton of space set aside for gardening because we do have other stuff, like, for example, a trampoline, which has actually been a huge lifesaver in all of this, because if the kids didn't have that trampoline right there, oh my goodness, they'd probably be driving me nuts. So I've been working in the garden. I have been treating for pests. So I'm using neem oil to spray anywhere where I typically get white flies. I have sprayed BT where I typically get the soft-bodied worms, so like the tomato hornworms and things like that. So I'm getting on top of all of this and trying to give our garden the best chance it has to produce as much as we can for what we need. I have starts that I'm putting in, but I'm just out here meddling in the garden as much as possible because it's an action. So you folks out there, you may think this is time to be home so you can get caught up on your shows, or you can get caught up on some project. Maybe you do woodworking or something like that, and it's something you usually enjoy doing. You may find yourself totally uninspired to do those things and feel yourself getting into a rut and feel yourself dropping down. What you have to do is repurpose yourself into purpose and things that you can feel are making a difference and doing a good thing. So you might have to search about, and it's not fun things that I'm looking for doing. You know, it's not the fun things that are going to give you purpose necessarily. You need to make sure that you don't allow yourself to get into a slump and become overwhelmed with the current affairs and everything that's going. I, of all people, know, because I struggle with that myself. And my husband's not here to snap me into shape because he's still running his business. And but I think that you all can find things that are actionable. If you haven't started a garden, start a small garden. I mean, you can go pick up those bags of composted manure down at Home Depot for pretty cheap and start a raised bed if you don't have an area that's already set aside, and get some plant starts and get going. And you may find that that brings you calm and peace. And you know, I've got some cool little plants over here that I just planted 2 days ago, and actually rats kind of got into it over here. You can see they bit a leaf. So yesterday I reset all of my rat traps and baited them with peanut butter, which is their favorite. And we actually, we got a rat last night, and so it actually took off with the trap. It didn't stop it, unfortunately. We've got these cool traps down where, oh, I can't even see. Hold on a sec. So we've got these black traps that really work great for the rats because the rats can't get out of them. Though this rat happened to be a sizable rat and it snapped onto its upper torso area and it had drug it off, and so we had to put a little pellet into it to finish it off. But you know, it's a good time to give extra attention to those kind of things that may provide you with a better gardening experience. I've got a little artichoke peeking in right here. These are purple variety, which are really fun. So that's just a little guy getting started. But things that are really good to have that produce quickly are your greens. So I have chard, and you can see the little onions all over the place. Those take forever. But over here there's some more chard, and that can be harvested frequently. You take off the outside leaves and then enjoy those. And these are all beans. They're actually Chinese long noodle beans. I get most of my seeds from Baker Creek Heirloom, and they have great seeds there. The grapevine is coming back in full force, so hopefully we'll have some delicious, yummy grapes. And using the same planter, more chard, because here it gets hot and chard won't go bitter in the heat. And lettuce will. As soon as it hits 80, that lettuce just goes bitter, and it's not really desirable. But chard you can keep using. It's not a favorite, but at least it has nutritional content, and it can be cooked up into a stir fry, and also used in soups and beans and things like that, which we may end up eating a lot of. Then we have the solar flare tomato plant is still putting on lots and lots of tomatoes. They're a little bit smaller than normal, but that's okay. With the heat coming, I hope that they're going to start getting more. And so I've been working more on keeping the extra leaves trimmed out of here and stranding it up so that the plant has the support it needs. And walk around over here. And the eggplant is just going crazy mad nuts. I'm still undecided about what I'm going to do with this craziness, as far as I don't know if I should trim it or try and give it more support. It's knocking over the tomato cage that it was in. But this is a Casper eggplant, and I can't even count how many are on it right now. My best guess is like 75 eggplants are going to be ripening here in the near future. But you can see that the rats have been a problem, because see that bitten out right there? That's why I have to get on top of the rats. So despite having chicken wire, it doesn't matter. They're still at it. So beets are a winter crop here, for sure. They don't go into the spring very well, and they'll start bolting soon. But these beet greens are really awesome for eating, same way stir-fried or in soups, in beans. But the beets are ready to harvest, but I'm not harvesting them because I keep taking these leaves, and I want to keep getting more leaves for right now. But in the other areas, I keep pulling out winter things. Like here's a lettuce. That guy's probably coming out today. And then I can put more things in its place. And like there I put a pepper plant, and I've got some squashes over here. You can see a radish is bolting right there, going to seed. But I have some more starts here to go into the ground. This one's a delicata winter squash. So I order a lot of my bulk ingredients from Azure Standard, and they have a branch of their business called Ellie's Eden where they make really great starts. So if you want plants that are already established and really healthy, that's a good place to start. So I don't know if this video has been helpful to you at all. Maybe comment down below with what you're doing to repurpose yourself while you have more spare time than you are accustomed to, and maybe it can help other people find ways to keep themselves distracted from all of this. And I don't know, we are in this together, even if it's from afar, and hopefully the kindness and goodness and humanity pulls through and the government doesn't take too much away from us before things go back to somewhat normal. So I hope you guys found something helpful here. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more updates in the future.